And so, friends, we are blessed today to have an opportunity to hear a little bit from Susan Dodd, who will be sharing with us.
Good morning. When asked to participate in this stewardship moment about committees and small groups, it provoked me to think about where I have volunteered over these past 35 plus years. And boy, was I surprised when to see a list of 15 different committees or small groups. So let me start out by telling you about one of the books we read for the Monday morning study group called The Book of Joy. Now, I'll admit I've struggled with joy, happiness, love, contentment. Sure, I felt all those things, but joy can feel elusive. And reading and discussing this book opened my eyes and heart about joy, and I have begun to understand. For me, this quote from a UCC devotional explains it well. Happiness is about the sympathetic nervous system, the excitable part. Joy, on the other hand, is about the parasympathetic nervous system, the part that has to do with calmness, repose. Happiness is quick, exciting, usually caused by something outside yourself. Joy is deeper, abiding, comes more from within than without. Happiness makes you breathe faster. Joy makes you breathe slower. Another book we read was Somehow by Anne Lamott. In it, she points out that pretty much underneath everything we do, have, and seek is love. Which brings me back to committees and small groups, because I'm beginning to see that this is true here at CCB. Underneath all our committees and small groups contributing to the life of this church is love. Love of our God, each other, ourselves, our church, our world. And I have to add a little aside here, because Bryn and I did not kibitz about what I was going to say. I didn't know what her sermon was going to be, and I did not share this. So there you go. One of God incidences, right? I do remember the times when I was reluctant to commit to a committee or small group, sometimes for good reason, sometimes for my own introvertedness, and sometimes just out of fear of commitment. Yet, as my involvement grew, I've learned a lot about this church, my faith, and myself. Such as understanding that the inner workings of the church did not negatively impact my faith as I feared it would. Or what at first felt like a commitment grew into my gratitude for joining in. That this is a place where I can be my authentic self. Also, the realization that a lot of my faith growth is because I volunteered. And yet, regardless of how much or how little I did so, I wasn't judged. So all told, I have gotten back more than I gave. So what about you? What do you yearn for? What do you want more of? During Advent, we celebrated hope, peace, joy, and love. Are you looking for more of those things? Perhaps looking for community, something else? There is an old adage that speaks to our success in this. You can't plow a field by turning it over in your mind. Whatever we are looking for, we must actively pursue those things with our time and talent instead of just dreaming or wishing for them. And with our busy schedules, it can feel like a huge mountain to climb. But as Mark Nepo, my current favorite philosopher, tells me, I don't have to be finished in order to be whole. And that makes me wonder if being whole is synonymous with joy, and what that might teach us about a life filled with hope, peace, and love. Bottom line, participating in committees and small groups helps me grow. And anytime one of us grows, our church grows, hopefully bringing us a tiny step closer to the kingdom of God right here on earth. Therefore, I deeply recommend it. You know the activities and good works of this church don't happen without us sharing our treasure, but clearly it also needs our time and talent to make the difference we seek in ourselves and in our communities, both near and far. So I ask you to prayerfully consider the time and talent you might share as this morning's offering of treasure will now be received.